Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and I've got to say right here at the very beginning of the video, I am absolutely loving the Black Ops 6 Season 4 update. I truly am, and it's not because, of the maps, or the guns, or the new features, or the game modes. I am loving this update because it is one of the most broken updates in Call of Duty history, and literally nobody seems to be enjoying it. So just from the outside looking in, like watching everything just melt down online, that's been really enjoyable for me, because in a weird way, just like watching Activision fail has to be one of my favorite things to do of all time. The update is so broken that I don't think I even need to use any of my own footage in this video. I can just show you guys the countless clips and videos posted by the community showing just how broken the update is. Treyarch claimed that Season 4 was going to be fixing a lot of problems, but instead, inadvertently, they would say they have added way more problems to the game than what they set out to fix in the first place. I don't think it's outlandish whatsoever to say that Season 4, across the board, we're talking multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone, has been a complete dumpster fire, and I absolutely love to see that, man. I love to see Activision crumble. I love to see Activision fail because of all the bullshit that they have pulled on us over the course of the past 5 or 6 years. I love seeing the narrative shift within the community, right? I love seeing literally every content creator that is not being paid by Activision, by the way, completely tearing apart this new season, because literally nobody, well, nobody who matters anyway, again, paid Activision shills need not apply here, nobody has anything good to say about this new season. It broke multiplayer, it broke zombies, it broke Warzone. They put advertisements in the creative class. They put advertisements in the events tab. The events tab itself isn't even working as of right now. People can't change classes mid-match without the game crashing. Some people can't even load into matches, and if they do, they're stuck in the loading screen while the match is going on in front of them. The UI is completely bugged and will sometimes show teammates as enemies and enemies as teammates, and sometimes this won't show anything whatsoever, so all players in your lobby will have no icons above their head whatsoever, so everybody looks like an enemy. And this is happening even in ranked play where friendly fire is turned on. Like, imagine trying to climb in ranked play where nobody in the lobby has an icon above their head, so you don't know who anybody is. The update to Warzone has been so broken that they had to delay the new ranked mode, and Warzone itself is crashing all the time for players. And the devs, this has to be the worst part, guys. The devs literally have no idea what they are doing, because what you're about to see next is going to blow your freaking minds. Here we see from the COD Updates Twitter page, an update has been rolling out that will temporarily disable parachute customization options to promote greater stability across all matches while a permanent fix is investigated. Let me say that one more time, guys. Warzone is completely broken right now, and the developers have no idea why, so their working theory right now is that different colored parachutes are causing the problem, but they're not entirely sure yet. They still have to do some more investigating. Like, who is actually developing Call of Duty anymore? How is any of this possible? I know that game development is tricky, especially something like this, but the optics here are just so outlandish, man. A AAA game backed by $1 trillion company and a franchise that has been going on for over 20 years is out here saying, yeah, we know the game's broken like 8 ways from Sunday. We really don't know why. We're gonna make it so you can't change the color of your parachute. Maybe that will fix it. We don't even know. Like, what the fuck is happening anymore, man? Like, is AI responsible for this? Do we even have any Call of Duty developers anymore? Is it literally all just ChatGPT or something like that? Because how can you not know what is causing the game to break this bad? And even if you do figure it out, how would the color of your parachute be what's causing your game to just essentially die? Like, it makes no sense whatsoever. And look at this video here coming in from the Tactical Brit. The servers are completely busted at this point. The game is unplayable for all intents and purposes, and I love what he said on Twitter to go along with this video. So here he said, "This is the current state of Warzone in Season 4, and it is embarrassing at Call of Duty. Game crashes, game uninstalling itself, the servers unplayable even if you stop lagging, cheaters, no QA, no testing, nothing. Please hurry up and release something at Arc Raiders game, at Battlefield. We all want to be elsewhere." And I think he's mostly right about that. We do want to be elsewhere. There is such an opportunity right now for a game to come out and soak up all of the Call of Duty refugees. They just need to do a better job of handling the game than what XDefiant did. I also said that he was mostly right, however, and that's because ultimately I think a lot of fans want to enjoy Call of Duty again. I do think that's pretty much most of the remaining player base. The community is like part new gens who never knew anything besides skill-based matchmaking and shop bundles, and then the rest of the community are old heads like myself who remember, who know, who experienced just how amazing Call of Duty used to be, and we want to get back to that. I think a lot of people online misinterpret criticism for blind hatred. I think we saw a lot of that in my video yesterday, and sure, sure, there are some haters out there, but I feel like a lot of the criticism towards Call of Duty is coming from a place of love. People would not be so upset about how terribly Call of Duty is doing right now if they didn't care about the franchise in the first place. They wouldn't be so quote-unquote negative about everything if the game didn't stray so far away from what made it fun and successful in the first place. The state of the Call of Duty franchise, as it sits right now, is arguably the worst that we have ever seen, and I say arguably because I'm having a really hard time thinking of another situation where Call of Duty was as down bad as it is right now. I'm talking down bad in terms of update quality, down bad in terms of stability, I'm talking down bad in terms of bugs and glitches, community sentiment, player numbers, and just the overall game feel. Has Call of Duty ever been in a worse state than it is currently? I really can't think of a time that's as bad as this. There were some bad times in the past, sure, Vanguard definitely comes to mind, but at least Vanguard was somewhat playable after the devs got back from their vacation. Like, that was like the beginning of the game's life cycle, not 6+ months into the game's life cycle. So I'm having a really hard time thinking of a worse period in Call of Duty history. So that's why I'm going to pass the question off to you guys. What do you think? Like, is this the worst point in Call of Duty's history, or was there a worse time? Let me know about that down there in the comments. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Season 4 of Black Ops 6 has been an unmitigated disaster, and in a lot of ways, I really love seeing everything break down all at once. If you think about it, in sort of a weird way, an awful, terrible update like we have right now is actually going to do so much more good for the series than an average update. If Season 4 came out and the devs actually did their job instead of just letting AI handle everything, then it just would have been a normal update. It would have went under the radar. The new maps are fine, the guns are whatever, you know, people wouldn't really be talking about Season 4 because it's late May, early June, right? Season 4 was never going to be a blockbuster hit, but because these devs are so bad at their jobs, because they broke everything in the game, because Activision is doubling down and putting shop bundle ads in creative class, all of that kicked up some controversy. And now, instead of everybody just essentially ignoring Season 4 and not talking about it, instead, everybody is talking about it. Everybody's talking about how terrible it is. Everybody's talking about how terrible Activision is. Everybody's talking about the state of the Call of Duty franchise, and this is certainly not the kind of publicity that Activision was hoping for. They say that any attention is good attention, but I don't think that's true in the case of Call of Duty. When literally everybody is bashing your game, when even the most positive content creators out there are calling out the bullshit, when Reddit is full of so many people hating on the update that the paid moderators can't even keep up, then you know there is a massive problem at hand. And yes, they do pay the Reddit staff to moderate and remove things. Activision is controlling all of that bullshit. We found that out when they released Verdansk, and any clip that was posted of people cheating on Verdansk was instantly removed by the moderators. So don't trust everything you see on Reddit. They are definitely bought and paid for, but there's still so much hate over there right now that the paid chill moderators can't even keep up. The walls are crumbling around Activision right now. For years, they've had this protective layer of nostalgia and paid off content creators, but none of that is working for them anymore. The rose-tinted glasses are off. Call of Duty fans have woken up, and Activision can no longer get by simply doing the bare minimum. They pushed out this update probably thinking to themselves, whatever, I'm sure it's gonna work, when in reality, it's very clear that nobody playtested any of this bullshit whatsoever. I don't understand how any of that is even possible. Just look at me, for example. When I make a video, I edit it the whole way through. I'm a one-man team here. I don't have an editor. I do all my recording, my editing, my uploading. I make my thumbnails in Sony Vegas, for crying out loud. I do everything myself, right? So when I make a video, I edit it the whole way through, then I render it, then I upload it, right? Usually I don't make mistakes, but that doesn't mean I'm infallible. So while the video is uploading, I watch the full video file back to make sure that I didn't goof up an edit or leave in any unwanted audio. And if I did make a mistake, I cancel the upload before it goes live to your subscription feeds, and I fix that error. Now, have I messed up in the past? Sure, but that's maybe a handful of times in the past 14 years. Over 3,800 videos on this channel alone, and that's because I take the time to make sure I don't miss anything. So why can't a trillion with a T dollar company do the exact same thing? You have all these people on payroll, you have invested millions of dollars into AI, and you can't quality test an update before pushing it out to the supposed millions and millions of COD fans that we don't have any traceable numbers on? It doesn't make sense to me, man. They just figured they could get by doing the same shit they normally do, and it blew up in their faces this time. It's just like when they thought they could pump out Warzone Mobile with minimal testing and support, and that also blew up in their faces. The new way of doing things over there at Activision may have worked for a little bit. It may have worked for a couple of years, but that time has obviously passed. If they want to see the series actually flourish once again, they are going to have to admit that they were wrong these past 5 years, remove all the bullshit, and actually put work into the game. It's honestly not all that hard, but as always, trying to get Activision to do anything right feels like it's pulling freaking teeth, man. It's talking to a wall with this company half the time, which is why when they fail as badly as they did with Season 4, I just gotta sit back and watch, man. I just with a big old smile on my face, like I love to see Activision suffer because of all the bullshit that they pulled on us over the course of the past 5 or 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where I'm gonna end off this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel, and until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.